We all are experiencing climate change in one way or another. But if we really want to address climate change, we need a quantification of what causes climate change and what are the ways to mitigate causes of climate change. That's exactly how to avoid a climate disaster is all about. We know Bill Gates for Microsoft and philanthropic work. I was really surprised to know his work in climate change through risky investments as well as through philanthropic donations as well. You might agree or disagree with Bill Gates on many fronts, but the things he's talking in context of climate change can't be ignored, and ignoring such things might be a mistake which we don't want to make. In context of climate change, Bill Gates suggests that two numbers are most important. One is 51 billion tons and second one is zero. 51 billion tons is the amount of greenhouse gas emissions or carbon emissions that each year all of us are emitting at a global level. And zero is where we need to bring down these emissions to. The question is, why zero? Simply because greenhouse gases such as methane, carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide traps the heat and increases Earth's temperature. And an increase in Earth's temperature means more natural calamities that threatens human existence. To build up context, in era of Ice Age, the temperature was nearly 6 degrees lower than what we are experiencing today. And in age of dinosaurs, temperature was 4 degrees higher. Through development, we contributed to increasing our Earth's temperature by 1 degree Celsius already. If we don't stop now, natural calamities will ensure that our existence is threatened, and that's why we need to bring 51 billion tons of emissions to zero. So what's the breakup of 51 billion tons of carbon emissions? About 31% of the emission comes from how we make things. Things such as steel, cement, plastic, the mobile phone on which we are recording this video. Steel and cement contribute significantly in this 31%. 27% of total carbon emission comes from electricity. More than 70% of electricity comes from either coal or natural gas. Our agriculture and allied activities contributes about 19% of 51 billion tons of emissions. How we move things, our day-to-day transport, our commercial transport, these activities contribute about 16% of total emissions, and how we heat and cool our homes contributes about 7% of the total emissions. In Indian context, as we develop further, our contribution towards how we use electricity or energy to heat and cool our homes will significantly increase. In order to bring 51 billion tons of emissions to zero, one might think that do we have to stop everything that we are producing? The answer is no. Bill Gates suggests that using more energy is not necessarily a bad thing as long as we are deriving this energy from a green resource. In a nutshell, moving from carbon intensive coal, fossil fuels to more greener options. But moving to greener options is not that easy. If we look at the history, energy transition has happened because of affordability. To give you context, buying a fossil fuel costs less than buying a soda. Of course, not in India, but in developed nation context, buying a fossil fuel is cheaper than buying a bottle of soda. So until and unless these green alternatives are more affordable, global adoption will not happen. And in order to make green alternatives more affordable, a heavy investment in R&D needs to be done. And all of this investment cannot be done by private companies. Private companies will invest in those innovations which will give them economic return. Historically, government has stepped in R&D in a big way to create a world that we experience today. For example, the computing devices or the internet, USA government invested heavily to create that technology, and once technology was created, companies like Microsoft, today's Facebook, they build on and they really took this innovation to a global scale. Same thing needs to happen when we talk about reducing carbon footprint and addressing climate change. Few of the policies that government definitely make to make this transition smoother is to create a level playing field for new innovation, creating standard for green product, green electricity, green transport. These things will help private companies take more riskier bets, but government has to pitch in a big way to ensure that we create green solutions which are affordable. In nutshell, becoming early adopter of risky technologies, creating incentives for private companies to bring down cost, and allowing state and local governments to experiment to reduce their carbon emission is a way forward. But it's not only government that needs to do all the things. Individuals like me and you and businesses have a significant role to play. At individual level, actively participating in political process is very important, because most of the decision and most important decisions regarding climate change are taken through political process. If you are really interested, then becoming part of active politics is also another way individuals can contribute, and definitely reducing own carbon footprint is the list that each one of us can do. Businesses can contribute towards addressing climate change by prioritizing low carbon solutions. Reuse of packaging is one such use case of prioritizing low carbon emission solution. Apart from that, businesses can be early adopter of green electricity, can be early adopter of using electric powered transportation, can be early adopter of using low carbon material. Apart from that, businesses can partner with smaller companies and academicians to create new solution and bring it to the market. Overall, we believe that these books gives us fact-based view of climate change. We have few solutions that must be deployed immediately, and few solutions we really need to invent in near future. Our collective passion can definitely make it happen. We believe that reading How to Avoid Climate Disaster will bring in more clarity on your thoughts about climate change. Happy reading.